So, why did your aunt say there's something you don't know, Matt? Something only Sally can tell you.
It was a long time ago.
You're 31 years old. How long?
It was another life, really.
Okay, well, tell me about this other life.
Say I was disappointed in love. It was a long time ago and I was another person.
No. I don't believe in disappointed in love.
It was more of a financial arrangement than anything.
Well, disappointed in a financial arrangement, that I understand.
I was engaged to Harley Campbell. His dad owned the...
No, I don't believe that.
You don't even know who he
No,
is.
I do. I met him up at the house earlier today. He was one running around going,
You tell him, buddy. You tell him, buddy.
a little ferrety thing.
Well, he used to be very good looking.
I don't believe that either.
He was a guard on the basketball team.
Sporty.
I was a cheerleader.
Uh-huh.
We grew up together. We were the two richest families in town. Dad owned a quarter of the garment factory. Harley's dad owned a third, and these two great families were to be united in one happy factory.
Well, and so how is it that Sally became disappointed in love?
It all became academic. The Depression happened, and maybe we didn't look so golden. The factory almost closed.
Well, I know the Depression came. But how is it that Sally became disappointed in love?
I got sick for a long time. I had TB, missed school, didn't graduate until a year after Harley did, and it was a good excuse to drift apart. Then he went off to Princeton, got engaged to a girl from New Jersey, and his father killed himself.
Because he was engaged to a girl from New Jersey.
Because by then it was 1931.
Okay.
He was in debt, thought he would lose the factory, and he didn't know how to live poor. So Harley quit school. Buddy Harley and Dad worked at the factory trying to save it, and they're doing fine now.
I heard they had that contract for Army uniforms. So,
Harley's wife left him 8 years ago, and he remarried a girl from Rogersville.
and that's the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you, Hannah.
Yep.
You're cute. You know what I think over here on track number 9? I think maybe Sally is not the girl I thought she was after all.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
What kind of an answer to a mystery is that? How did you go from being this golden child into an embarrassment to the entire family, into a radical old maid who was fired from teaching Sunday school? Why did this nice Harley leave you after all those years, after you got such a romantic disease? See, I'm a logical person. I like things like laid out in a list, right? That's not logical.
His family didn't want him to marry me, obviously.
They didn't think you were good enough?
Come on.
What?
Yes. Don't do that.
So Mr. Campbell was in debt, and he was worried about overextending, and his rich partner's daughter gets TB and the whole wedding is called off?
I don't know.
When the Depression comes, rich people want to pool their resources, right?
They didn't see it that way.
The Campbells, they're a good old Missouri family, right? They got all these little Campbells running around, right?
No.
No, okay, so just Harley and his 2 brothers and his sister.
No.
No, just Harley and his brother.
Harley and his sister.
Harley and his sister. So Harley was the only son of a very prominent Lockleed County family.
Yes.
Why didn't they want their only son to marry the beautiful, popular cheerleader Tally girl with whom he'd been dating for the last 3 years?
They didn't like me.
He dated you over their protest?
Not on your life.
No, because Harley would never do anything against his parents' wishes.
No.
And in fact, you didn't graduate with Harley, you graduated a year later. Why weren't you good enough for Harley?
I got sick.
Right. You got TB and you moved away to Arizona where you lived for the rest of your life.
No.
No. You gave this contagious disease to their only son, and he moved away to Arizona, never to be heard from again.
The TB wasn't serious. There were complicating circumstances that caused me to be out of school.
So there were complications. You were pockmarked and ugly, and no one wanted anything to do with you.
You might say that.
This only son was repulsed by the sight of you.
No, Matt. I was in the hospital for a month. I had a fever.
Harley has a morbid fear of hospitals. I'm the one who's getting a fever is who's getting a fever.
They didn't want it.
But your father
He
insisted.
didn't want it either.
Because you were pale and white and would not look good in a wedding dress.
Matt!
Because you are Trump and a vamp and you would ruin the reputation of this prominent family. Is that what the story is?
He was their heir. He had to carry on the family name.
And you were irresponsible and had uncontrollable kleptomania and couldn't be trusted around the family money.
I was sick. I had a fever.
You were not sick. You went away. Why did you go away?
I was at the house.
Why were you at the house for a year?
They couldn't get the fever down.
No, because you had disgraced yourself.
I had a pelvic infection.
Is that what you told people?
They didn't know what was wrong with me.
Why were you at the house for a year?
They couldn't get the fever down.
Why were you hiding?
They couldn't break the fever, and by the time they did it, it didn't matter.
What were you hiding?
Because it had eaten out my insides, and I couldn't bear children. I can't have children.
What do you mean?
I couldn't have children.
It's okay. I'm here. You're okay. It's okay.
Go away. Go away.
I thought you had had a child.
I've had no child. There was no scandal. I was no longer of value to the merger.
It's okay. It's okay.
Stop. It's okay. That's what I tell the boys. It's okay, only they're dying of blood poisoning. Don't comfort me. I'm fine.
I thought you had had a child with someone else. You're so crazy.
I only wish I had.